morning, Allison here. It is Wednesday, May 8th. I just wanted to give a little tour of the plants that I have planted so far. I've got some cold hardy vegetables planted out in my garden. Some of them are undercover in low tunnel hoop houses. Some of them are just out in the open. We're still a few weeks away from our last frost date. We had got down to 15 degrees about 8 days ago, so still got some cold nights. Because of that, I've got some warm weather vegetables hanging out in my grow space inside, and I'll show you those as well. So yeah, let's go check it out. This is our little grow space here. You can see we've got a combination of some house plants and some vegetables. I've got some cilantro here that kind of bit the dust. I brought it inside and it didn't have enough light, but I've got some in the garden as you'll see. So I'm not really worried about that. I have some Thai basil here that I planted. It doesn't say when I planted it, but it's doing great. I've been pruning this to get it kind of bushy, and you can see where I pruned it here. Same thing with this basil here. I pruned it back right there, and it's starting to branch out. More Thai basil. These two will hopefully live inside or kind of right outside my back door. And then this one, this basil and this basil will live in the garden. And let's see. Oh, I've got another little Thai basil here that'll go out in the garden. Looks like that could use some water. So then I also have a bunch of peppers and tomatoes. And yesterday I pruned a bunch of these peppers. It was really scary because I'd never done it before. And it's kind of, yeah, you just like take the whole top off the pepper. So it's pretty intimidating. But you can see right here, I pruned this cayenne pepper. There's another cayenne that got pruned, another one there. Then I have some jalapenos. There's a Scotch bonnet in here somewhere. And then a couple other little tiny peppers. I have some indeterminate tomatoes growing here. So some Gardener's Delight that I planted on April 7th, and then I transplanted them on the 1st. So these will go out into the garden in a couple weeks. I'll start hardening them off soon. For the determinate tomatoes, actually I've got some more indeterminates over here. I've got some black Krim. And then I have a couple determinate tomatoes. This guy has got a little bit of sunburn. It's not doing super hot, but I have 2 left, and I have planted 3 of them into their final pots. So I'll show you those in just a second. The marigolds were getting kind of big for the grow room, so I just put them right here. And then we have some starts that I haven't planted. I planted a bunch of bok choy and kohlrabi already, so those just don't really have a home, as well as these couple cabbages. And then this is some parsley that can go out in the garden soon. And then my 3 determinate Oregon Spring tomatoes that I transplanted yesterday. And they'll live here. I'll probably bring them outside kind of on and off over the next week, couple weeks, and then just keep watching the weather. All right, so this is kind of what the whole space looks like. I'm going to do another video about how this was transformed, but here's the raised beds. We've got, as you can see, a couple of hoop houses, but everything in these beds was planted from seed. So we'll just start in the middle here. I've got a couple purple cabbages here. This one got a little bit damaged by frost, but seems to be doing okay. This growth is new since then, so these guys are growing pretty slowly, but they're getting there. I have some kale that's just starting to come up. I planted some stuff in between here because you can see I lost some to the frost. I just transplanted these leeks a couple days ago, so they're relatively new in the garden. And then I have some kind of experimental greens over here these I transplanted from inside at the same time as the ones in the hoop house, and you'll see the ones in the hoop house are doing a lot better. That mustard right there died in the frost, but I planted some mustard seed right next to it, so should be a-okay. And then we've got some garlic through over here that my roommate actually planted last October. So those are doing quite well. I just noticed this doesn't look like garlic. I think she planted some onions too. So here we have our my mini hoop house. You can see it's just about 4 feet wide. I've got some peas, beets, and carrots in here, and then this area is just mulch to keep the weeds down. So you can see a couple different varieties of peas. The ones on this side seem to be doing better than the ones over there. That happened to me last year too, so I might just grow this variety in the future. The beets, I've got 2 different varieties here. You can see they're in these little clusters. I'm gonna try that method out this year. And then some carrots that are just starting to come up. All right, so here's my larger hoop house. And you can see there's lots of fun stuff growing in here. Most of the stuff I transplanted from inside, and then I direct sowed some stuff in between. So there's some succession stuff coming out. Starting over here, this stuff was kind of an experiment. I just direct sowed this at the end of March, or the middle of March, like when there was still snow on the rest of this bed here. But the side closest to the house gets, it melted faster. So I just planted this stuff and it's doing great. It started doing a lot better once I put the hoop house in, but you can see we've got some spinach, some red Russian kale. I don't remember what this is. I think it's chard because this is chard. Yeah, and then some kohlrabi that I need to thin out. And then these are all transplants. So we've got some pak choi, some arugula, spinach, chard, mustard greens that were struggling with the frost, but they seem to have recovered. Except for that guy. Some more red Russian kale, more pak choi and arugula. I transplanted these cilantros from inside, and I read that they don't transplant well, but these are doing great. So, and I've got some kohlrabi just chilling here. I sowed, if you can see, this I did a radish carrot mix. You can kind of see that they're coming up, but I just did this line right here because I heard that that's a good combo because the carrots take a long time to germinate and then the radishes grow really quickly. These radishes I sowed directly in here a couple of weeks ago. They're doing fantastic. And then I sowed another row right next to it. You can see they're just starting to come up here. I sowed some nasturtiums along here. No, some zinnias along here last night. We'll see how those do. I don't know if they'll germinate until the soil gets warmer. And then I sowed some nasturtiums kind of right along here, like 6 days ago maybe. So hopefully those should be sprouting pretty soon. Thanks for checking out my garden with me. I'm gonna hopefully document this throughout the season to just show the growth, and I'm really excited. This is my first year in this garden, so I'm really excited to see what I can grow. Thanks.